Yo.
What it do, y'all? What's good?
We are back again.
Yay!
Another episode of
The Grind Show.
The Grind Show. You already know what it is. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know.
Hey, right. Episode 35, baby. Let's go.
I thought it was 36.
36. Look, now I'm getting there right.
Exactly. So it wasn't me. I'm just glad for one time, at least, it wasn't me messing up. Because I was ready. This time
it was me, y'all. It was me. I take accountability. It's part of growth.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, growth. Yeah, like I said, episode 36 of the Grind Podcast. I guess we'll start off like this.
You know how to get down?
Well, actually, how's your week been? How was this week for you?
My week has been, I kind of been trying to recuperate and regroup and recover.
Gotcha.
Had a long haul of just work. It's been years. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the vibes. I work a lot, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon because I know how much work is still needed to be done. But this week I definitely took a step back and just kind of gathering myself information I need because school's starting back for the kiddos. Shout out to all the kids going back to school.
Man, shout out to that for sure. I've been back.
K through 12, college,
summer school.
Yeah,
summer school has been there, so I've definitely been back. Like summer school has been hell. It feels like hell week. That's what it feels like. Like if anybody know what that is, regarding sports, like. It feels like that. But for like what is that?
What is this?
I don't know what that is. Like, you may have talked to me off air what that is. I don't know what that is. But yeah, that's what it's been for me. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
You know.
What a pun. Pun intended? I don't know. Anyways. Work has been I'm at work. Been a lot of extraness to this extra. There's just been a lot. Been a lot. Life has been lifing, my guy. I ain't gonna lie to people. My teacher knows. Like when I walk in the classroom, she asks me, she's like, "Hey, dude, is everything okay with you?" "Oh, well, you don't get to come."
Oh, somebody trying to get on the show right now. Somebody's trying to get on the show, y'all.
No, let me tell you what about. It was a bill collector.
One day we will have you guys being able to call in.
No.
Right now, that's not it. We got a special guest.
That was a bill collector, and he will never get on the show.
I'd pay your bills.
No. He gonna have to wait. He can't be on the show. They gotta wait. He can be on after I pay that bill. He can be on after. Life. Anyways, man, we're gonna start off like this, man.
Okay.
It's a little feel good, a little Saturday.
Don't worry, y'all. We about to introduce our special guest too.
I feel extra out here.
Oh.
I need extra. A little bit don't fit. World wanna know how I got like this. I need extra. So you know I can't quit. Looking like a lick trying to catch my drip. I need extra. I need extra. Give me what you got though. Pull up to the drive-thru and let the y'all.
Saturday, live it up.
Right, it's the weekend.
Mama told me as a kid I've been extra.
We got special guests. I ain't even tell y'all who it is yet.
Green on my necklace.
Hey.
We have a good one today, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm extra.
Hey. Shout out to all the K through 12 out there. Shout out to all the college students out there. Shout out to the entrepreneurs out there. Shout out to the hustlers out there. Hey. Shout out to all the 9 to 5s out there too, man. Big up y'all too. We got a perfect guest for y'all today.
On fire.
Perfect.
You ain't gonna miss this.
Alright? You gonna wanna know what she got to talk about, y'all.
So you know I can't quit. Looking like
so you can get that money up. Let's go. She gonna teach you how to get a bag. Hey. Hey.
Once upon a time in the hood on a block, bro. They was taking extra meat off of the tacos. So I'm extra unashamed in the spot, bro. Cause every day I hear trying to stop.
You start partying in here, boy.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, we hope this gets you through your grind, though. For real.
Yeah, for real.
Sometimes you need that music.
Thanks.
Love.
Yo. Hey, but like you said, we got a special guest in the building right now. Before we get into that, I am your host or half of the co-host of the Grind Podcast. My name is T-Tank.
T-Tank. What up, Taylor?
You know what I'm saying? Call me
what are you waiting
Don't
for?
call me Tata. I hate that.
You ever had like a little kid and when you at work, you're like, oh, what up, Taylor?
No, because I kick him.
You can't be little kids, man.
Never. Let me not say that. I get fired. I'm just playing. Just playing. I love the kids. I love my students. They need all the love and care. Just playing. That's how I feel. But just playing. And to my right, my co-host, you know what it is. What is it?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy AJ. What up? St. John's 133. Yeah, look me up. I have for the Grind Show. Yeah. And we got a special guest today. I've known Brandi I've known this woman in particular for about 2 years, I think since 2020. I was going through a tough time at the time, just looking for communities to join and, just looking to build myself up at the time. I was still at the house, still living at home, and I bought this Freedom Pack from my brother Charles Oglesby. The Freedom Pack was Todd Capital Freedom Pack, and it's a bunch of financial literacy stuff from real estate to car rentals to taxes, anything business related. It was in this Freedom Pack, and one of the Freedom Packs included, included in there was a mastermind, and the mastermind was a community of just entrepreneurs, business people, like-minded people that's really like out here doing it. And one person I came across when I was in this mastermind was this lady. She goes by the name of Brandi, Networking with Brandi on Instagram. Every time she speaks in the mastermind, she's coming with heat. She has gems, stories that you guys can learn from. So I thought this would be a perfect guest to bring on here because the grind it's the grind. Like, it's learning how to learn new skills, learning how to build yourself up from ground zero or wherever you're at your point in life. And part of that for me was getting around people that are doing things such as Brandi is doing. So we want to introduce Networking with Brandi. Brandi, give a round of applause.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here
in Colorado right now, y'all. On the run.
Happy to be here.
What are you saying, Brandi?
No, I said I'm just happy to be here. Happy that y'all having me on your podcast, The Grind, because that's exactly what it's about. Grinding it out. Everybody think it's easy. It's not easy. It's hard work.
Yeah, very hard work.
Like I was telling you, like when it was off air, like it's always a pleasure because I always love having guests because it's a lot to learn from. Everyone experiences different grind of their life in different avenues, and like it's just a pleasure for me because I get to learn and take gems with me through my grind. So it's a pleasure. Thank you for making time for one, like I said, out of your day to come on the pod and just bless us with anything.
Bless the pod.
Right.
She's actually the first person from the Todd Capital Mastermind. So shout out to that. We always talk about
shout out to me.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious too. I'm like, AJ talks about this so much, so I'm like, let me see somebody. No disrespect, because you from there too, but I'm always with you. Let me see like someone else from the
Everybody
let me see
there probably
what
10 times ahead.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like
nah.
Like one of the things, like iron sharpens iron type of thing.
Exactly.
That's what I think about. Like, so I'm like,
exactly.
let's get some more like each team member is valuable to the team, and it's like, let's powers combine. Yeah. Let me see like what this person brings to the table.
And that's what it's about. It's really about just collaborating, sharing information, and just lifting each other up. How can I help you? How can you help me? Like, and just adding value to each other's life so that the whole wins in the long run. Not just one person, but everybody.
Facts. What I want to ask to start off is to you, Brandi, because I ask this often. Some people can answer, some people can't. It's a intricate, interesting question. Who is Brandi? Let us introduce yourself to other people.
Introduce yourself.
Who is Brandi?
So Brandi, again, like AJ said, my name is Brandi with the I. I hate when people spell my name wrong, but network with Brandi, and I'm a mom that was looking for freedom, right? So I just was looking for freedom because I knew that it was available. Like a lot of people think that freedom is not available to them as far as like working a 9 to 5 or doing whatever they do. But yeah, I'm just a mom out here. I was looking for freedom and I found it, and I hogged the lane. That's it. That's it.
What's up?
Nothing special, nothing crazy. Like I'm just like everybody else. I'm like anybody else. Like I don't want to. That's how I want to come off. But like most people think when other people on podcasts and things like that, it's like there's so much more above me, so I can't attain that. And it's like, nah, I'm not no more or less than you are. Like the AJ just said, like there are a lot above, but you right there with us. You know what I mean? We just got to figure it out together. So yeah, I'm a mom. I'm an entrepreneur now. I was working a 9 to 5. I quit 9 to 5 about 2 years ago. But I've been working since I was 14 years old. I'm 40 years old. So, it was like you said, it was a grind getting out, but I wanted it so bad that I did it. You know what I mean? I wanted it so bad that I figured it out and I did it. So yeah, that's me.
I'm actually just a question to piggyback off that. What inspired you to have that? I always admire that, like especially like at a young age, this ambition, this hustler's mentality as a young. I'm just want to ask you, like, what inspired you to have that mindset, even at 14, having a job? Like, what got you that inspiration to be that way?
I would have to say my mom. So my mom was like the biggest inspiration for me, because I saw somebody that had like literally nothing, like, and came from like nothing, having a baby at 16, and then another one at 17, and and then get my other little brother when she was about 24, 25. But through all that time, she still grinded it out. She still, like, she didn't complain. She didn't say, oh, this person is doing better than me, and like feeling down on herself, like the woe is me and think, why can't it be me? My mom never did that. She always just felt that it was a way that I can make it too. If this person can make it, I could do it too. I just got to figure out what's going on. And when she passed away, so like my mom passed in 2015 from lung cancer. So when she passed away, it was like it made that thing in me even stronger. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I gotta actually move and do things. Like, a lot of times we have an idea and we're like, oh man, I could do this or I could do that. And it seems like a good idea, but then you start telling other people and people are like, well, I don't know. How would you do this? And how would you do that? Just kind of like, not to say discourage you, but they're just basically putting their limiting beliefs on you because they don't know, they think they can't do it. So it's like when you present it to them, because they have the limiting belief about themselves, they'll like take that and internalize it and give it and spit it out to you. So just watching who you talk to, who you give your ideas to, right? And that's why, like AJ said, getting in a mastermind with like-minded people that like when you come in a group, you have these, you know, when people have wins and, oh, what did you do this week? How was, you know, whatever, you got all these wins, and there are people actually in there clapping for you, and then adding more value to say like, hey, well, you know, if you did this or tweaked it a little bit, you could get a little bit more of a win, right? Whereas like there's certain people that you could be around. It could be your mother, your sister, your best friend, people that you've been around all your life, and you say something to, and they're like, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. That won't work out. And it's like, but it's just their limited belief. So you can't be mad at them for for the information that they're giving you, because you asked for it and you know where they were at with it. So I think like her giving me that drive and that push to say like, no matter what, you know, anything is possible. No matter what, you could be whatever you want to be. And like, before she passed, I did ask her, I said, you know, not ask her, but I was just like, you know, I'm tired of working for somebody. I've been working all my life. Every job I go to, like, I bring so much value to it. They have me in different stores. They have me in different places. I become management. I always work my way up to management. But it's like, I'm at a point where it's like, I'm tired of like giving everything to everybody else. I want to do something for me. And she was just like, you know, do what you want to do, you know, because she became an entrepreneur in the childcare business, actually. She loved babies. Like that was her passion, was little babies, little kids. She loved the kids, right?
And that was gonna be my question. Was your mom an entrepreneur?
Yeah, but before that she wasn't. Before that she would work 2-3 jobs. Those times we didn't see my mom. Like my grandmother, she would be like dad. Like she would be at home with us, and my mom, like if something happened, she would call my mom. My mom be like, oh, when I get home, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So like it was times she was like from this job to that job to that job, and it was like no nonstop. But once she found like the children, the childcare, and like she talked to somebody, and another thing, this is a thing too. The networking part of life is the main thing. That's why I named myself Network with Brandi, right? Because I feel like my mother didn't go as far as she wanted to go in her life because she didn't network as much as she should have networked, right? She networked enough to get to a certain point, and then she kind of like, you know, she was comfortable there, right? So she actually found out about the childcare business through somebody at a wedding. Like she went to a wedding, and one of her like old childhood friends was there, and they, you know, you say like, hey, what you doing now? And the lady told her like, oh, I'm a childcare provider. Like I take care of kids. And she's like, how you do that? She always wanted to do it, but she just never knew how to do it. And the lady was like, here, take my number. I'll let you know. Like, call me and we'll talk about it. She talked about it. My mom went. She did all the paperwork, the classes, everything. And at the time, my mom had like 2 jobs. And the lady at the place was like, you know, I wouldn't recommend you quitting your job because this is a thing where like the kids come in, but sometimes they don't come in. So it's like sometimes you have 1 kid, sometimes you have 10 kids. You just don't know, right? And my mom told her like, I have to quit because I got 2 jobs and I can't stay at those jobs and do this. So she quit her job to become an entrepreneur. And she was an entrepreneur for over 25 years. And at that time, we was calling like self-employed. So like, I didn't even know like entrepreneur is like a new word like that everybody's using, but like it always was like, oh, this person's self-employed. You know what I mean? Like that was the word. So I never knew that this was my mom, but she did it for over 25 years and she never looked back to a job. Like that's what she did. That's it. So if I could say anybody, it would definitely, absolutely be my mother. Absolutely. Yeah.
There was a few things that I really liked about that story. Of course, your mom being an entrepreneur, like I can relate to that totally. Like my mom got her entrepreneurship from my grandmother. My grandmother started a business from Honduras, brought it over to the United States, started out here in Pasadena. I'm born in Pasadena. My mom took over a business, and then, you know, obviously I got the bug. You know what I mean? Like I was out there. So does what? You know what I mean? So I totally relate to that. But I did like that part you said about like talking to people with limited beliefs, and like you already know they have limited beliefs. So why would you go ahead and tell them your dreams or whatever it is that you're trying to do? Because you already know what they're gonna say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think people get mad because I thought about this too. Like if I told somebody like, you know, what I'm trying to do, like, you know, of course I got supportive people around me, so it's different. But if I knew they wasn't going to, like, why would I waste my time even talking to those people, you know, or trying
Absolutely.
to get whatever point across. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to help me accomplish those dreams or, you know, the overall goal. So I did like that part too.
And don't talk to people don't give ideas or talk to people if where they're at, you don't want to be there. Like if they're not where you want to be, then it's like, I don't need to talk to you. I need to talk to somebody that is where I want to be and they're actually striving towards something or towards that. Not somebody that's like, oh, I'm just working at this job and I'm cool with it. I'm in this, you know, nothing wrong with it, but like I'm in Amazon, you know, in here in the inside and I just work here and you're fine with that. That's not the job I want to have. That's not the place I want to be at every day, clocking in and clocking out. So why would I talk to you about that? You know what I mean? And unless you telling me like, yo, I don't want to do this no more, this and the third, and we can kind of collab or bring value to each other to get each other out of the situation, that's different. But if you're just doing it and you're comfortable with that, I'm definitely not talking to you about what I'm trying to do if it's bigger than that, because I don't want your life.
Huh. Yeah. And that resonates. I think for me, when I used to work at like the warehouse and certain jobs, and I always know it in my mind, like I'm definitely better than
where I'm at right now. Yeah,
I didn't tell them that. I didn't tell people that. Like, you know, everybody has where they're at in life, and whatever's working for you to make a living where you are in life, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, what they're doing. I just knew I wasn't trying to be arrogant, but I knew I worked in my talents and my gifts to know that this is not the place where I am looking like to be the manager or elevator, have a career for. Like,
you knew you had more value.
I have more value than that. And I mean, honestly, I never thought about like not talking to people who are comfortable in that. I would tell them because it's me. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Like it's like me placing that value in myself. I hear Pastor Michael Todd say it's only crazy till it happens. Like I will tell you the most craziest, the most wildest imagination thing that I believe that God is gonna see me through. And you may think it's crazy. It's only crazy till it happens. Then what you gonna say?
That's a good point though.
What are you gonna do? Because you gotta have that belief in yourself, I feel like first. First and foremost, if you ain't nobody gonna believe in you or anything that you do until you have that.
Yeah, I really like that point, Tyler, because sometimes I don't think when you're in that 9 to 5 and you're you know going to day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, I don't know if because you don't get that recognition every time. Like I can count on my fingers how many times like a manager told me like, "Hey, good job, Jones." You know what I mean? Like
they don't count.
Yeah, like work. Or gave you some kind of reward or something, you know. Yeah. Like it happens, but it's very seldom. Right. But you know, I can see how someone might think like maybe I'm not that valuable because like this is what it is. Like, you know, they can't see the future, they in there. Like I want to ask Brandi, like how, because you know, you said you were working, you had your kids, and how did you realize like, hey, there's more to life than this? And what it means did you take to start getting yourself into that entrepreneur field? Like, did you start researching? Like, what was your first steps into your entrepreneur journey?
So,
and how did you get that? How did you realize that value too?
Yeah, that value.
So I realized it, of course, well, not of course, but seeing my mom pass away, like, in that, like seeing her be who she was to who she became, and then it was like she was gone. That hit me harder than anything, right? And a lot of times, like what I say is, a lot of times as adults, when we decide to make a pivot or shift or do something different, it's usually something that dramatically happened in your life, right? It's not always just like some people, they can just shift, they can just pivot or whatever the case may be. You know, oh yeah, I want to do this. They're just those type of people. Some people, they're just going through their everyday lives and they're okay with where they're at. They don't feel like this is where they should be, but they're like, it's paying the bills. It's, you know what I mean? It's cool. But
I'm
when
good
you
on the
have that
live.
thing,
exactly.
right? When you have that thing that like punch you in your gut, like, you know, a life-changing event. Like some people I know, Charles always say like his son changed the way that he started to market and put himself out there and things like that. That's a life-changing event. He had a child, right? My mom passing, that was a life-changing event. Somebody passed that was like near and dear to my heart. That was like, I could go to this person for any and everything, and she would be like the one that would give me like, you got it. You could do it. No matter what. Like, even if it was like the worst thing, like, I can't do that. She like, you can do it. Like, I can help you. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, so that was the thing that really put me there. And the steps that I took to get out and to get to this point was basically like kind of like I was telling Tyler earlier, like I tell everybody, if you have a job, like I don't bash jobs. I don't say quit your job. Like this is, you know, you need to be an entrepreneur because entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Like it's hard sometimes to get up and do this thing and you don't have nobody sending you an email or looking over your shoulder or telling you, hey, you got a deadline or whatever that looks like. You got customers waiting. What are you doing? Like it's hard to get up and do it even when you don't want to do it. Right. So what I say is like the things that I learned at all the jobs that I ever had and the job that I've had before I left, those things that I learned from those jobs, I took those with me and brought them into my entrepreneur life, right? Because I knew like, okay, if I'm at work and I'm, you know, let's say, you know, I was in finance, so I was like banking and stuff like that. We did 2 by 2 by 2. So it's like once you talk to a person, you get their number and, you know, they might say, no, I don't want anything right now. And then, you know, you get their information, you would reach back to them in 2 days. Hey, how's everything? You was here the other day. You know what I mean? Give them that little, you know, this is Brandi. I just wanted to reach out. Then the next time the next time you get them 2 weeks and you hit them again and you touch them again. And then the next time is right. And then the next time is 2 months, right? The next time is 2 months. And you hit them again. So it's a 2 by 2 by 2. So that is sales, right? That's a sales strategy. 2 by 2. You 2 weeks, 2 months. 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 months. Excuse me. And those things, I was just like, you know, and honestly, like I started out in real estate, right? So that's why I said I took this stuff and I took it to real estate because it was like, okay, I need to like keep touching these people, keep talking to these people because they're not gonna like sell me their house right off the bat. Like they don't know me. I gotta like get familiarized. Like they gotta familiarize themselves with me, you know, and I gotta be, you know, I gotta talk to them and find out what their likes and dislikes are and see what they do. And if they have children or dogs or animals, what are they likes or dislikes? And when I reach out to them, I'm talking about those things. If their wife was pregnant at one point in time, when I saw them, the next time I see them, I'm talking about that baby. I'm talking about, hey, well, what's going on with the baby? How is she feeling? How's mom? You know what I mean? And you make it very personal, right? So these are things that I was taught at work, right? So a lot of people, and I said this a lot of times, a lot of people will hate their job so much that they forget to get any information from the job. And then they hate the job and like, I'm quitting, and they quit. And it's like, now what? You know what I mean? You ain't getting no information from that job to be able to leverage it to help yourself outside of that job, right? So I started to do that, you know what I mean, while I was at work. So while I was working my 9-to-5 job, very strenuous because I was in management. So I was, you know, up there. So it was expected of me to do a lot of things. I started in real estate. I started doing that real estate, whatever the case may be. And I was doing that from 5 to 9 and on the weekends and going to see houses and, you know, different things like that. I was investing, right? And I was teaching myself. I was listening to podcasts like this one. Shout out to all the podcasts. You know, I was reading books. I was getting in masterminds. I was going to meetups. I was letting people know, this is who I am. This is what I do. The one thing I always say to people is that you don't want to have whatever it is that you do, like as an entrepreneur, don't let it be a secret. Like, let everybody know what you're doing, right? Because you never know when somebody's going to need what you got, right? If it's a secret, you're not in business. If people don't know what you do, you don't have a business, right? It don't matter who it is. People need to know what you do so that they can, you know, give you information. Like when I was in the real estate, like I'm still in real estate, but like when I was active heavy, like just always talking on it, real estate, it was like, was talking to everybody. And I was getting leads from people that didn't even have a house, but they knew somebody that had a house. It was like, yo, I know my cousin over here, and I know my friend, my next door neighbor. And I'm like, all right, give him my number. Let me talk to him. I'm coming out and talking to him, whatever. And that's how leads were coming in, because it wasn't a secret. It was like, I want this thing, right? I listened to a podcast one time. I forget the podcast, but like I said, I was listening to a heavy podcast. I turned the radio off. I was like, Bluetooth my phone, podcast only. That's all. Like, when I was in the car, I was listening to podcasts. When I was, outside of the car, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm watching YouTube. I'm learning so much. And it was like, I listened to this guy, and he was like, people quit. He's like, before I quit my job, he said, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in like this, like, sales, like phone sales or something like that he was in. But he's like, I knew what I needed to be in that business. He's like, so what I did was I just basically made my job, my 9 to 5, my investor. And every week that I would get paid, I would take money out of my check to buy something for my business. So before I started that business, I had like basically everything in my garage that I needed to start that business. So I had started the business before I left, had everything done before I left that 9 to 5. Most people will leave their 9 to 5 with no plan. You have to plan your way out of that 9 to 5. I planned my way out of my 9 to 5 as far as investing in real estate, car rentals, whatever it was, vending. I was planning my way out.
Planning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the key is planning, not just jumping off the bridge, because everybody's situation is different. You might got 5 kids. You might got a wife. You might got a husband. You might got 2 car payments. You might got a 3 mortgages. I don't know what your life is like. My life wasn't like that. I got 1 child. You know what I mean? And I didn't have all the, like, I was already like paying down my debts and things like that. So I was like, after this, I'm done, right? But everybody life is different. Everybody go through life different. So, when you think about getting out, you have to plan from where you at and not from where I'm at. Like, I'm already out and I'm doing what I'm doing. So you're looking at my life, you're like, oh, I'm gonna quit too because she's doing this, she's doing that. I could do that. You can do that, but some days it ain't so good. You know what I mean? Every day ain't a good day. But guess what? At your job, in 2 weeks or a week, you gonna get a paycheck. Whether you show up or not, when you show up, you could be lackluster, lazy, don't want to do nothing. You can sit in the bathroom for an hour. You could go on break for 15 minutes, whatever. And when you come back, they're going to talk about you. They're going to say whatever. But I'm going to get my check.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I got to work constantly to be able to see that check, right? So that's kind of like not saying kind of, but that was the whole idea of it. I just immersed myself in entrepreneurship. I immersed myself in what can I do to make money to get out of this job? What can I do to serve people, to bring value to people, to where I will be able to get what I need, right? You first got to be of service, right? Yeah. I wanted to know, what can I do to be of service to others, to be able for me to step out and be like, okay, I'm making money. Because I always say, I never do things for money. I do things because if I do this thing and I do it the right way, and I know I'm doing it the right way, the money's gonna come because of who I am, because of what I do, right? Message. So I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it to serve the people. Once I serve the people, the money coming because they need me. They need what I have.
It's the solution. I really like the part where you was talking about the planning, because I think that's a subtle gem that people don't really quite value as much as they should, because like you got an idea, but what's the plan behind the idea? How are you gonna market it? How are you gonna get sales? How are you gonna make it come to life? And planning is probably, I would say, one of the most essential and like first steps to anything, as far as whatever it is, whether you're trying to get out of your 9 to 5, whether you're trying to get married, whether you're trying to build a business. It's a blueprint.
Everything.
Right.
I agree. So I really think that's a good place to start for anybody out there trying to do anything.
But I feel like some people don't know how to plan. Like if they never,
it's critical thinking.
They never had those skills to come in together with themselves, I guess, or by themselves, saying, really, I feel like you really have to think about your purpose.
Yeah, the purpose, the problem. What are you like, Brent? What are you trying to fix? Who are you trying to serve?
Right.
You know, that's very intentional stuff.
Those ingredients coming to like, hey, all right, so, and then this, how do the figuring out stage is always to me the hardest stage in life. Like when you have no examples, especially when you have no examples.
Yeah.
Those figuring out stages of creating that plan, that blueprint of how I figured out what I am supposed to be doing, what I need to do, what I'm doing, who I'm doing it for, what I'm doing it for. Those things are the figuring out stage of all that is very hard.
Yeah.
How do you get to
well, there's so much information now, so now it's just a matter of like, who do you trust to lead you in that endeavor or whatever it is. But the good thing about it is so much information, you don't have to just put your hands in one person. Like I got a whole mastermind I can go to, like literally like, hey fam, like, hey, I'm doing this, can y'all help me? And they will give me like resources, whatever I need, like, so that I can do it. And you know, you just gotta find the people that's doing it. Like we were talking about earlier, the people that's doing this, you know, putting yourself in those environments and stuff, and you will be able to get the information you need to get it done. I'm just like,
I think Brandi said the gym and networking.
Yeah, well, that's why I was gonna ask. Like, I got a few questions about networking, and I was like,
because I think that was the key in that whole figuring out and having this community. This is what I get of it all. The network, you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
like she did. She alluded to that, and when she said that, I thought about personally me. Like, no one's gonna know if you don't put yourself out there. Like I have to put, like with my art, my graphic design. No one knew that I had this talent. No one knew that I have this graphic design, this art talent until I started putting it on Facebook. Then I literally made a whole business page for me about my whole art and my whole graphic design talent. No one knew. I wasted time in college, a whole lot of time doing other things. But if I would apply, who knows?
Oh, if you would put your art on Twitter back when they came out. Talk to Charles about Twitter in college, bro. He knows.
Like it would have been hot.
Charles is the first on Twitter.
I would definitely probably not be in certain positions or be in a position better than I am now. But I started late, but every season is a reason. That's what I believe. So then again, like I asked, like I alluded to on this podcast before, I asked, and I had to put myself out there to let people know who I was and what I do, and let my gifts and my talents work for myself instead of this 9 to 5. But no one would ever know if I kept that hidden. Yeah. It would just been a secret talent of mine. So and nobody knew it.
And that's the thing. Like, you have a skill, a talent. A lot of people have skills and talents that they can use to get themselves out of their situations. And they scale that that's now your profession. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's just
when you think about what you do at work, right? For instance, all right, y'all school teachers, correct?
Correct.
So you're a school teacher. What you do at work? You work with children, and this is just the simplest you could put it, right? As monetizing your genius, as simple as you could put it, right? School teachers in school, y'all love kids. Y'all do what y'all do with the kids. Y'all teach them different things or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. You, as a school teacher with your certifications and things like that, you guys can start your own online school for entrepreneurs, right? For everyday entrepreneurs, or even working people, whatever you want to say. Everyday entrepreneurs that have children and they don't want to send them to the actual school system, but they want to, get them to learn what they need to learn. But they don't want to put them in the school system because, everything is going on right now with all the craziness or whatever of the school systems and stuff, right? You can kind of put yourself out there. Well, not even kind of, but you could put yourself out there and say, hey, we started up an online school, whatever the case may be. And, we work from Monday through Friday, this time to that time. And this is our curriculum, right? And you could just get a curriculum or build a curriculum out or get a curriculum online, the homeschool curriculums or whatever. You know how many people during the pandemic started homeschooling, and the teachers that started like that left and was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing outside of here and got so many, people, they're just like, I don't have to go back to the school. I make my own hours. I make my own time. I do my own thing. So I just say that to say, like, it's every job. Like I just said about my job. I knew what I was doing. There's a reason why my job was paying me what they was paying me. You know what I mean? There's a reason why your job pay you what they pay you. But we leave the job and then we turn around and do like something totally different and try to figure it out. And it's like, why are you trying to figure it out? Start with what you already was doing. It's obviously a need there, right? It's obviously a need there. If you were already doing that there and they were paying you whatever they were paying, 50, 60,000, whatever, 30,000, even if they were paying you 30,000, it don't matter. Now that I'm doing it on my own and for myself, I could charge whatever I would like, right? But monetizing your genius is not going out and being like, oh, I want to do this because I saw somebody doing that, or I want to do this because I saw somebody doing that. It's cool if you want to do that, right? But to start out, monetize your genius with what you already know. What do you already know?
Preach
What did you go to school for? What do you work?
Book of Revelation.
You go to work. What do you do at work?
For God.
You know what I mean? Like, is it serving somebody? Do you serve somebody? Yeah. When people come in, I talk to them. I talk to the parents, curriculum, whatever. Even if, let's say, for instance, you don't even want to deal with the kids. You like, listen, I'm a school teacher, or I was a counselor, or whatever the case may be, and I know the inner workings of what's going on in the school system in this part of the area. So I want to help parents arm themselves before they send these children to school.
God shall wipe away.
I got you.
Every tear from the eye.
Nah, go ahead. Do you think?
Ready for the revolution?
I want to arm the parents up to say, when you get in that office and the person is saying whatever they're saying, I know this and I'm asking these questions and I'm saying this and they looking at you like, well, how you know that? Yeah, because I went and I talked to AJ first. He got a curriculum and he wrote it all out, and now I know what to say, what to ask, who to talk to, who to hire up to really talk to, because you're not the person I need to talk to. That's just very minimal.
My school is accredited.
It's absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. Even if you don't want to do the school thing, you just want to be specific to, I'm just talking to the parents, bro. I don't even got to deal with a school. I don't even got to have a school.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Message.
So
we are kind of online school.
Right.
I get assignments to this day right now from the school system, guys, about online classes teaching K through 12. So it's imagine you just doing your own thing.
But even in a different spectrum, like, because I work with kids, I work with kids with special needs. Like, that's
absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother.
It's a whole nother.
Imagine what you can do with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Genius is a key.
What you know.
That is
absolutely.
I took them like monetizing your genius.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, people know stuff, but they don't believe in themselves enough to do it on their own. And that's why I asked Brandi, like, how did you find the courage, like, to believe in yourself enough to just like, I'm about to do this. I'm not going to stop. I might get hit a few times, might take a few punches.
Yeah, no, you go.
This is what I'm making a decision. This is what I'm going to do.
Right.
How do you get yourself to believe in yourself enough to do that?
Well, her motivation came from her mom, is what it sounds like, for sure.
That definitely the main thing was my mom, the motivation. And then like support, the other thing I do. Yeah, I got right. Like that. The other thing was like knowing that, I would leave this earth one day, right? And I would have still just been in a cubicle, or still have just been, you know, because like, your job, they're gonna replace you in no time, right? They're gonna replace you in no time. Like you something happened to you, they're gonna have like little, oh, we so sad, like whatever. And then like, they got somebody else ready to claim your spot. Like that's just how it go. You feel me? It don't stop. Like their business doesn't stop because you're not here, right? So you can't blame them. But at the end of the day, it's like how bad do you want to like leave a mark on this world? How bad do you want to like go around and show like everybody and like leave everything, like empty yourself here, right? You sitting there like people ain't emptying yourself here, right? You gotta have something that's gonna do that. So when I thought about that, I thought about my mom. I'm like, yo, she passed when she was 51. Like she was in the prime. Like when you think 51, that's you still young. You know what I mean? You still got time. You know what I mean? So it's just like
people don't believe you're so young.
You go that early, and it's like you didn't really get to do much of anything. You know what I mean? And not saying it like that, but really, she didn't really do much of anything because she was always having to be a mom.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, like fully live her life. So when I thought about that, I'm like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to have like a regret of, I don't know if I'm gonna have a regret, but like have a regret of like I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and it was just like. You just gotta go. You just gotta do it. Like on the other side of that fear. On the other side of that fear is what you want. On the other side of the fear is definitely what you're looking for. But you ain't gonna get there until you do it. Like they say, on the other side of that L is your win. Right? You gotta take the L. You have to.
L is your win.
You gotta take the L. Like sometimes the L gotta be there. Like when I first started in real estate. I was taking so many L's, right? I was taking a lot of L's. I ain't gonna lie, I was taking a lot of L's. But it taught me not to do this next time because that didn't work. So don't do that. But if you never do it, it's like all you see is an L. But now because I took those L's and I kept pushing through the L, I saw the win. You know what I mean? You gonna say like, and then that's when it'll be like when you're talking to the people that did try to do it but didn't completely go through with it. And you talk to them because you like, no, I know you was in real estate too. So let me talk to you. And you talk to them like, yeah, I wouldn't even do that because the contractors and the tenants and this that. Like my own uncle said that to me. Like when I was going after to like really do it, he was like, don't do that because the tenant's going to mess your house up. The contractor, he was just saying all the negative stuff. But guess what? My mom was already set. My mom was already set. I had already purchased the house. I'm like, I already got it. I'm asking you this because I thought you would give me something. You know what I mean? I thought you would give me some good information, but you really not. So it don't really matter. I'm still gonna go through with it, right? But now he not saying that. He looking at me like, okay.
Hey, what you trying to do on the next deal?
Right.
Absolutely,
bruh.
You know what I mean?
Dang, there's a lot of gems in that. I love that. I hope y'all took something from that. A lot of good. I always say that if it starts up here first, mindset first,
for sure.
And once you got your mind right, you set, you can't be
fortitude is everything.
Yeah, you can't be defeated after that. So
you got to disarm yourself. I tell my students, when I go through my my curriculum with my students, I tell them I'm gonna disarm you from you. Like forget everybody else. I want to disarm you from you. Because you're the one that's in your way. Nobody else is in your way. You stopping yourself. They ain't stopping you. They might be saying words. They might be saying this. Oh, that's not gonna work. They say this. They say that, or whatever. But you're stopping you from you. I'm gonna disarm you from you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like
that's it.
That's just all it's about. You know what I mean. And again, like a lot of people think like you need so much to do something, but you don't. Just use your job. Make them your first investor. Make them invest in you. You know what I mean?
Use that money, guys. Right. Don't spend all the money you make.
Right.
Nope.
That's a little bit.
Right.
No.
You ain't gotta use it all to go to the club. You know, I be drinking and popping bottles and doing fun too. But come on, guys.
Right. But right now,
let's switch it up a little bit.
The gears. Right now, we're about to go to a little intermission break.
Intermission.
I'm about to play this song.
Yeah, definitely. I hope y'all got something from that.
Hope y'all got something and sharing these gems. We're about to be back in a quick minute. Right now, I'm about to play this song called Calling by Metro Groove with Swali and Nav.
Brandon got some more heat from y'all. We're going to get into the car rental business.
For sure.
And some real practical steps for y'all so y'all can make that money and elevate your life.
Right. Getting more into it. Intermission real quick.
Yeah, boy. Let's go. I'm geek right now.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
We back.
We are back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, intermission. How'd y'all like that song? That song was vibe, bro.
Yeah,
what song was that?
I told you it was Calling.
Calling by Metro Boomin and Nav?
Yeah, Nav. And Swali.
And Swali was in that? I did hear A Boogie on there.
Yeah, that's That was from the Spider-Man. That's from the Spider-Man soundtrack, which is a great.
Shout outs to Spider-Man. Yep. That was the Meta.
Across the Meta.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one. I watched the first
one. You ain't watched it?
I watched the first one. The second one just came out.
If you like the first one, the second one.
The first one was lit.
No, the second one is
The second one's lit.
times.
Okay, I gotta watch it.
And then you gonna want to see another one because I'm not gonna give it away.
It's a third one. Oh,
it has to be a third. I'm not giving it away. But let's just say it has to be.
We got to do like a film pod one day.
I don't know.
We got any film homies? I do got a film homie.
I don't know much about films like that, but that's what it is. But I'm just saying, like, if you like this first one, you're gonna like the second one, and you gonna anticipate a third one. This is all I'm saying.
I'm gonna see it. I need a date.
I went to the
date night.
And I love the movies. Movies is my favorite.
I love the movie too.
I go by myself, so I don't need nobody. Movies is my little thing.
I mean, date.
Like, yeah. But back on the pod.
Crazy. So let's get into the practical stuff. Like unless you had like something.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if it's practical or not, but I was just curious as. Like, I don't have no kids, but I always feel like when I do, I want to work hard enough to instill a lot of things that I never had growing up so they can be, at least build a foundation for them that they don't have to start at a lower place than I did growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
From zero.
Like, they have a platform, a blueprint from my example. Of what I've grinded through for them to. So I'm just wondering, Brandi, like, what are the things you try to instill in your kid right now to help them, like, if you do right now, if you're like waiting till an age that you feel is, or what are some things like you instill in them right now that you feel that helps them build better for like the future
when they're on their own.
Yeah.
So. For me, with my son, because I have one son, he's 14.
Okay.
For me right now,
what's his name?
His name is Nehemiah.
What's up, Nehemiah? You on the Shine Podcast? What's up, Nehemiah? You know I love kids. I'm gonna shout him out here regardless. What's up, my dad? So
I instill. I want to instill good character in my son, right? It's not about I want to still instill him being a good man, a good person to people, right? To be able to give value and serve people, and to have like the please, the thank yous, the yes ma'am, no sir. Those things will take him a lot further than anything else I could give him, right? Having good character, having good morals, having good values. Knowing, having discernment on different things, right? I teach him, I try to teach him that. And also his father teaches him these things too, right? Because I'm not a single parent, I co-parent. You know what I mean? His father's there, I'm there.
Good.
I don't believe that, just because me and him aren't together doesn't mean that I'm a single parent. I'm not a single parent.
Right.
Because I'm so
I like
his
that.
father's
That's
teaching him those things as well, right?
That's a bar. Please say that again for the people in the back.
No, it's true. Like you can't. When a lot of people, if the other parent is there, just because y'all not together, you can't call yourself a single parent. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a single parent. I'm a parent. I'm a co-parent with his father, right? So those are the things that we're instilling in him, right? Because honestly, those are the things that were instilled in me. Entrepreneurship wasn't instilled in me. You know what I mean? Like. Just working hard, having a good work ethic, like I said, again, good character, morals, values, standards, those things. And like teaching him as things are happening, right? A lot of people will they'll have it could be a teaching moment. Like I said, you guys are teachers, so you understand these. When things happen in the moment, you need to teach in the moment. Like, don't wait till, 2 months later, or no, I'm gonna wait till you turn, 16, and then I'll explain this to him. Like, no, if it happened right now, we need to address it right now and teach that right now, but just teach it on a level that they can understand. So, for instance, when my son was 9 years old, like I said, I started in entrepreneurship around 2015 through 2016. My son was around 9 years old. So at that time, I'm, doing entrepreneurship. I'm working in the finance industry, and I'm learning all this new stuff. And at the time, I'm like, I was learning so much, and he was around me and this, that, and the third. But then I was like, yo, I have to teach him this stuff, right? I need to teach him this stuff. But I didn't know like specifically how I was going to teach him, because it just was like, seemed like very so high level to me. Like he wouldn't be able to understand. He's 9, right? Yeah. But I started to break things down and talk to him and, have these conversations. And then I happened to see something about like vending machines and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, maybe I could talk to him about this. So I had a conversation with my son one day. We in the car and I'm talking to him about like, what would you like to do if you could do anything, whatever, like what you think about like candy, vending machines. And he's like, oh yeah. So we started to conversate about that. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what you can do, and he's like, okay. And he wanted to do it. So I went out, I ordered some vending machines online and they came in the mail. They came out and, we got them together, we filled them up and they were sitting in the living room. And I'm like, okay, basically I'm teaching him now. I'm like, okay, this is an asset. Right. So I'm like, this is the difference. So now I can speak to him on his level because he's looking at it from candy and game systems. Right. So I use his game system when he played PlayStation and all that stuff all the time. He loves PlayStation and all that stuff. And I'm looking at the candy and I'm like, the candy machine is an asset. Why is it an asset? Because when you put it out, people could put quarters in there and now to get candy. And then when you go back to that machine in a couple weeks or whatever, when you go to refill it, you're going to pull quarters out. So that machine is bringing money back to you. So that's why it's considered an asset. It's giving you something, right? So then you talk about your game system, and then you get the game system. It's like, that is a liability because it's not bringing any money to you. Like, you probably can figure it out how to do that.
Yeah, unless
but
you
at the time that he was playing it,
right.
At the time, like he's 9 years old, he's just playing a video game. He's not figuring out how to make this thing get money for him, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is their liability. So what you want to do is you want to use your asset, which is your candy vending machine, to pay for your liability. So instead of buying the liability first, we're going to buy the asset first. And then once that asset starts to bring in good money, then we're going to be able to take some of that money and buy you a new game for your game system, right? But that game system is not bringing no money, so that's why it's a liability. So it was little things like that I was like teaching him and giving him information. And I'm like, I have to teach him this stuff because it's going to teach him to have good business acumen, right? So we talk about the generational wealth, and it's like the buzzword of I'm building generational wealth, right? But we're doing it to the detriment of our children. We're doing it and we're not teaching our children how to continue doing it, right? We're not teaching them at these ages. We're like, oh, when my son turned 20 or 18 or whatever, he's just going to get all these assets, all these houses, all these businesses. But it's like, I haven't taught him how to work in these businesses, right? Yeah. It's certain companies where, I say this all the time. I'm like, a lot of us, we grew up in the hood, right? When you grow up in the hood and you go to these like different like stores, the corner stores, like we have corner stores, right? So they call them bodegas, right? We go in these corner stores and a lot of times the people are serving, they give you, you're getting candy, you're getting, juice, you're getting whatever, and they're selling it to you and you're giving them your money, right? Now, at times you're going to see little kids behind those counters. And at times, once those kids turn like, 7, 8, 9, they're going to be the ones taking your money, right? And then eventually those little kids will be grown people and now they own the store, right? It's only because their parents put them in position to say, hey, you're going to work in the store. You're going to do all the things that I do. And I'm going to teach you everything from cleaning the floor to taking money. I'm teaching you everything, how to stock shelves. I'm going to teach you everything, how to talk to the suppliers, get inventory in. And once you get 18, 19, 20 years old, I'm not just, I'm going to give you the business, but you already know the business.
Message.
Right? Because you have the business acumen. You have everything you need to run this business. Whereas like when our kids get the business, it's like they're quick to sell because they would rather get the money than hold on to the business because they didn't have to go through the blood, sweat, and tears, the grind of dealing in that business, right? So they're willing to be like, but give me the money. I want out. I only want to do this.
Yeah.
right? So those are a lot of the things that, like I said, I talk to my son about and things like that. And like I said, my mom, she was, a daycare provider, school teacher. So I got a lot of that information from her because I didn't know how. Like I didn't like when I had my son, like I only had one child. So like I'm leaning on her like, well, how can I teach him? What do I need to do? And she always said like, he's little, he's a kid, but he understands. So just talk to him in a way that he will understand. They're little people, right? They get it. They understand. So you have to give them,
for sure.
You have to give them everything that they need. Right. You got to get them everything that they need while they're young so they could grow into it. And a lot of times you're not going to get it right away. But once you get older, there's a lot of things now that my mom taught me when I was a little girl that I'm like, whoa, like, and I'm using it now. I'm talking about it now. And it's like, dang, I didn't even know that would be a thing that I would have to deal with or figure out. But because I got that information early on, it's like I was able to pull from it. You know what I'm saying? So those are a lot of the things that I teach my son. Like we want to give our kids, the Jordans and the clothes because I ain't get to get Jordans. I ain't get to get clothes, right? But what did you get? You know what I'm saying? What did you get when you was growing up? You might not have got the Jordans and the clothes because we didn't get that either. But what I got was a good work ethic. I saw somebody that worked hard, that got out there and grinded it out and made sure that like we came from here and we started moving up. And it was like we saw the progression of our lifestyle change, right? So you could be in that, you're like, yo, I seen that. And then you see the networking, the being social with people and talking and being able to say hi. And at times, like even now, like kids, they don't want to go outside. They don't want to do nothing. My son is like, he don't want to do nothing. He want to go outside, want to play video games, send an hours, right? But I make my son, we go out to eat, right? Because when I was young, my mom took us out to eat and she would, we would be happy to go out to eat, but those were teaching moments, right? Yeah. She was teaching us how to eat at a table, how to eat at a restaurant, how to be around other people when we were there, not sitting, licking your fingers, but using your napkin. Though she was teaching every step of the way. So these are the things, like I said, that I put into my son because I saw it and I got it from my mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. We were being taught morals and values and having good character and just being a good person to people, no matter who they were.
Where your mama from?
Oh, my mom is from Georgia. She was
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah, she's from Georgia.
Okay.
But
that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm thinking like I'm listening to your story. I'm listening to how your son's being raised. Like I kind of grew up on the same thing. Like my mom taught me entrepreneurship and my grandmother, I'm out there with them selling stuff, like how to take money from customers and give them back their change. And like,
absolutely.
Oh, you give me money, I give you this product. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, it came normalized for me. It wasn't new. So when I got into entrepreneur field, it's just easy for me. Like, I don't find it uncomfortable. Like some people find it uncomfortable putting themselves out there. And I just don't. Yeah, I know it's a real thing, and I just don't. Because it's like I've been doing it since I was young. Like you said, your son 7, 8. I was out there with my grandmother 7, 8, 9, selling turnovers, apple pies, and stuff like that, sodas. So like entrepreneurship is a little bit more easy for me, but I do think that everybody should be an entrepreneur. Or at least working something on having us income on the side of what you do on your 9 to 5 or you know what I mean? You gotta have that extra income.
So invest it. You gotta be an investor in something.
But I do
even if it's not your thing.
Yeah. But I do wanna ask you if you can give us some tips while we have you here. I know your expertise and I know a lot of the stuff that you do as far as car rentals, real estate.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. And tell us about that, but if you can mix in like what's some of your top not investment tips, but top 5, top 3 tips for like networking and just building your network. Because I always believe that I've heard this and I think it's coming to I think it's true. But your network determines your net worth. Yeah. So how have you, because I wouldn't even have this conversation or we'd be able to have Brandi on if I didn't know Charles, if I didn't pledge, it's a whole storyline that's leading up to this very moment. Right. And having Brandi on with you guys. Right. So Can you give us some tips for that? And, of course, the car rentals and, get into the business, get into the money, God, get in that money.
You have your own, you have what I understand. I mean, you have your own car business, and you haven't even talked about that. All the gyms that you've talked about,
right? You ain't even got.
So I would really say, as far as networking, for me, what I would tell people is that a lot of times we go out and we go in these networking events and things like that, and we usually take somebody that we know, like you guys are friends, things like that. And y'all might go to networking events together, or how we do whatever, right? What I would say, even if you're going with someone, talk to other people that you didn't come with, right? So the first thing I say is be intentional, right? Be intentional when you're networking. And that's in everything, right? If you're dating, be intentional about dating. What are you here for? Why are you here? Why are we doing this? We got to be intentional, because at the end of the day, it's like, if you're not intentional about it, you're not going to get what you want out of it. You're going to get everybody is going to pull from you, pull, but you wasn't intentional. So you didn't get what you want, right? The other thing I would say is, block out the noise. So before you even go, know what you came there for. So that is back to intentionality, right? If they talking about credit, they talking about rental cars, they talking about real estate, if they talking about, all these other Airbnbs, whatever. What is it that you're coming there for? Are you coming there for credit? Are you coming there for Airbnbs? Are you coming there for rental cars? What are you coming there for? So you need to know exactly what you're there for, because there's going to be a lot that you're going to have to take from that. But you have to, go in with your mindset on, this is what I'm here for, and this is what I'm taking from this. And also get in front of people, as far as not just the people on stage. So I say this all the time, like, a lot of times people want to be in front of the person that's like larger than life, right? Like, so for instance, there's a guy named Derek Grace. You probably know him on Instagram, Grace. Right? So I follow Derek Grace. I've been following Derek Grace. I've been following Derek Grace for some years now, right? Now, he's very shocking to people, like his marketing, all these things, right?
I know.
So, but the thing is, if you look past all of those things that he's shocking you with, he's going to give you a lot of information, a lot of game, a lot of things that you can take and be like, you know what? I don't have to look like him. I don't have to do the things he's doing, but I can take this information and go get a bag, right? So
that part,
at the time,
tattoos and all.
At the time that I was like following him and watching him, there was another guy that I was following and watching. His name is Runway Billionaire, right? Now his name is Runway Billionaire. Now, at the time, Runway Billionaire was like, he was just following Derek Grace just like I was, right? And we were both doing the same thing. But it just so happened that, I was trying to get to Derek Grace, but I couldn't, because he wasn't coming into where I was at. He wasn't having meetings, nothing like that. So what I did was, I saw who the person that, he kind of that went after what he was doing the most, and really was intentional about continuing to do it, right? And then I saw that it was Runway, and I'm like, and I found out, oh, this guy in Philly. You know what I mean? So now it's like, he's in Philly, I'm in Jersey. That's a 30-minute drive, 20-minute drive, wherever he's at, right? Hour drive, whatever it is. That's what it is. So I started to reach out to him. And when anytime he would have an event, I would show up. Anytime he would have something going on, I would show up, right? And to the point where he would reach out to me and say, hey, I'm having a little event tonight. I want you to come. Just come out or whatever. And I would show up. To eventually, he had something where Derek Grace was like, I'm coming to Philly to be with my man Runway and chill with him and have some stuff going on. And Runway hit me up like, yo, Derek gonna be here. You should come out, right? So a lot of times, you want to be close to the person, the person that's so far away, that's I guess up there that you can't touch. And you trying to get to that person, but it's somebody under that person that's doing the same thing that they doing that you can actually touch, that you could talk to every day. Whenever I met up with Runway, we talked for hours. Whenever I met up with Runway, we talked for hours about just business, entrepreneurship, all the things that he was doing. And this man, he's still the same person, but it's just now, you have to be able to be okay with not talking to the person on stage, but talking to the people in the audience. You know what I mean? Because guess what? Those people paid money to come too. Like I just was in Sacramento at the Black Business Clique weekend, right? I was there for the
Black
weekend.
Business Clique.
I was there for the weekend, and I was trying to talk to everybody that was there, right? I already knew Black Business Clique G and Tina. I already knew Charles. I already knew all the people I came with. I'm walking around. I'm in the place. They like bring you everywhere. I said, because I want to meet people. Like, I don't know these people. I want to meet them, right? I want to know who they are. I want them to know who I am, right? It was just an intentional thing. But some people, they kind of get in their shell and they don't do that. So those are some of the things that I would say, like, really put yourself out there. And again, if you got a business, if you got anything, if you're doing it, I don't care if you know, cleaning tires on cars. Tell people, yo, I clean tires on cars. I make them shine. I do this. I do that. Let them know. So now it's like, yo, whenever they thinking about, man, my tires need cleaning, you come top of mind. Because I'll keep saying you. How many times we see McDonald's commercials? How many times we see all these commercials? As soon as you see the commercial, you're like, man, I'm hungry. Yeah. And you go get something to eat.
You went to McDonald's without me?
So these are the things that, you know, you gotta absolutely be intentional about if you want to be where you say you want to be, right? Because like I tell my mentees, you didn't come to me because I wanted this. I'm already doing it. You came to me because you said you wanted to do this. So you got to keep your promise to you, not to me. Don't keep it to me, because I not saying it not to be funny, but like, I could care less. My life will still go on. I will still be doing what I want to do, right? I'm just here to teach you and give you this game. But at the end of the day, if you said you want to, you got to keep your promise to you. If you can't keep your promise to you, what are you doing out here?
You can always lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, is that analogy when it comes to mine. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's a good analogy too, man.
Right. You can, the doors is always open
for whoever.
Open the doors for you, but it's up to you personally to walk through them doors,
and that's for anybody.
Anybody. Sure.
So it's whatever. What do you want out there, guys? Like, what do you want for your life?
But I think it's the thing that she brought up. Like, what came to my mind first is when you talk about like not talking to the person on stage, but the people out in the crowd. They have that value in that networking will do you just as justice. You don't have to be. You don't have to talk to the person that's
the Tyler Perry's, the who else big up there? Name these guys: Sean Diddy Combs, Charlemagne the God.
You can talk to them.
Stephen A. Smith.
Right. You can talk to the lower and still gain.
And it's the thing I like about it when she said it's in the same field. Like, just because you ain't talking about Stephen A. about sports, Tyler knows just as much about sports, and he has a network that is catered to the sports section.
I call them superheroes with no capes. That's what I call them.
Yeah, unsung heroes. Hey, shout out to Mar.
Or this is crazy. The unspoken hustlers.
Ooh.
I know how to swing it. I know how to segue and swing it. I'm good at this. I do this. No. But it's real talk. It's the unspoken hustlers. It really is. It's like, and when I keep like glaring at it, like no real talk, I keep glaring at it, right? And I'm like, man, like that's me. When I, it's like a mirror. I don't ever, like, AJ, between you and I, like, I literally think like you're the loudest between you and I.
Yeah.
You're the loudest.
I'm definitely loud.
I think that too.
I am.
Bruh. I just be like me. Like,
yeah, and that's great.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
The yin and
just doing my thing, man. Just doing my thing.
The yin and that's you. The yin and yang between us. What I feel like that I have to be like.
Am I the yin or the yang?
I don't know what the loud.
I think I'm the yin.
Okay, whatever the loudest is, well, that's you. But like, I am the more quiet of the grind of it all.
Like, the calmer one.
No one literally sees my everything. Like,
well, because I promote a lot more on my Instagram, guys. So if you find out about stuff from the grind, you usually find about it from me or the grind podcast. If you guys want to follow the grind podcast Instagram, you'll find out more stuff.
Let me contribute that. It's not that he promotes it more. Let me not paint that picture. It's my thing. I'm going to promote it. I do the work underground so nobody sees the work underground.
Behind the scenes.
My head is down and I work. I will promote things. I won't. Okay, this is what
You're like a grounds crew and a pilot.
Right.
Shout out to
I'm like that construction worker that puts on his hat, take his lunch to work, put on his boots, and go to work. Right. And you're gonna see the finished product. But I'm not the rah-rah, but it's a reason because of that. One, I never came from a parent or parents that ever taught me about the grind. They never taught me how to hustle or anything. I had to learn that. I was never, so that put me in a place of
dang, that's a real gem though, bro.
Figuring out insecure, being accepted by others, and I had to learn how to be me, whatever. And even then, when I was angry, when I was mad, and I brought this up before, when I was mad, when I was angry, I never lashed out. No one ever knew. What I did, I put my pen or pencil to imagination, to a paper. That's why I'm an artist. I did this. This is like my realm is quiet. The reason why I got an Instagram is when I finally start, that's my loud. Hey, this is what I do. This is who I am. Like, my quietness was always an unspoken hustler's mentality. It was always a behind the scenes work. I don't have to talk about what I do. I don't have to advertise what I do. When it pops up, you will see what I do. Like, it was never even the courage to do it until I got an Instagram, to tell you the truth. It was never publicized. And until I got in my 30s when I realized, hey, to live for somebody's acceptance, you'll die by their rejection. I don't have to do that no more. So that means whatever I put out, hey, you like it, cool. You don't like it, cool. The essence of me is still going to be there. I'm still going to do what I do. I'm still going to grind. I'm still going to hustle. I'm still going to put out these things, but I'm not going to boast, brag. I'm not going to yell out loud, rah, rah about what I do. It's just what I've been conditioned to based on childhood till now. I respect and I look at that shirt glaring at the unspoken hustlers because that's exactly what I feel like. I feel like I'm not that big up there. Everybody gonna know every step what I do. I'm that underground underground artist. I'm that underground poet, artist, hustler, musician, whatever. Like, no one's gonna see it coming. They're gonna be like, "Who's that? Where'd he come from?" Not knowing I've been doing this for years. Not knowing for miles. Like, I've been gaining all these gems and these keys, keeping it to myself, head down, working, grinding, hustling. This is what it is. Like that.
So you are like pointing to the unsung heroes, the unsung people who don't get that notification for the work they do.
I am a rebel and speaking for the ones that don't get seen, the ones that's invisible, the ones that do the shit, but because they look different, act different, talk different, etc. Unpopular ones, all of them, they have the same things, but just because they're different, they don't get that recognition.
Yeah,
I am here to say, hey,
I think you fit more into an entrepreneur spirit than you think, because I feel like entrepreneurs don't get a lot of that stuff, the recognition, all that stuff, because I feel like entrepreneurs be getting dissed sometimes, man. Like, oh, you got this new idea. Oh, you always got a new idea. You know what I mean? Like, or, we kind of get placed in a box or something like that.
And that's where the brand goes into, because I'm like, you can't put me in a box. You see me and you think I'm underrated. You think I'm not this, but you don't know me because I'm
like if you're not there,
quiet. If I'm not big, if I'm not speaking out, if I'm not out loud, outspoken, then you have this preconceived notion of who I am, what I do,
or that I'm not as successful, like just because I'm like right here, like you know what I mean.
You have no idea, my guy. So keep it, but I don't fit into your box. Point. I don't fit into that. I'm just quiet about it because I don't have to live by trying to be out in there and be accepted by X, Y, and Z.
Even though that we do want to get there, like as far as marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you gotta prove it to your results. You gotta put your money where your mouth is, but not to the masses of it. Who are you to tell me? People who are you to tell me?
Good point, bro. It's interesting.
But that's what I see when I see the
unspoken hustlers, and
that's me. Yeah, I feel like I am the
guys that's working behind the scenes, just getting it.
You don't have to hear it. You don't have to. It still makes a sound.
So, is there a pro or a con to that? Like, is that the all end all be all? Like, would you rather be famous and getting it, or would you rather be unspoken and getting it?
Brandi, for unspoken hustlers, as your shirt says, do you think that what would be better, the out loud or the unspoken?
And just anything around that too. Like you made some interesting points.
Absolutely. I would say the unspoken hustlers. Like I said, this is my brother's clothing line.
Shout out!
Shout out to the bro.
Right, my older brother. Like
I want that,
and he appreciates you. He did some things. He did some time and things like that. And then, all this came out, when he was basically in the darkness, right? And he knows that, like, the things that happen to him in the dark, it's still got to be light there, like, afterwards, right? So just being a hustler still, no matter what. But like you said, Tank, like, no matter what, I didn't have to go all big with it when I was feeling away or whatever the case may be. I just grinded. So, like, you still saw me. I didn't speak about it. I just was a hustler. I was doing what I had to do. But for the most part, it's like just, you could be a famous nobody. Huh. You know what I mean? You could be a famous nobody. And just and continue to live your life, continue to do what you do, and just be a famous nobody. Like, you know what I mean? It's so many people that got it that you don't even know they got it, but you will look at them like, oh, they ain't got nothing, but it's just because, they not who they don't fit in that box that you think a person that is famous should fit in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's pretty much it. Like, I don't fit in that box. Like, Tank, like, just because he ain't running around here with chains and, the cars and the clothes and all that stuff or whatever, don't mean that he's not a famous person. Just don't mean that he don't got things going on. He just would rather be low key. He would rather be on his own, doing his own thing, being unspoken, chilling out. And now listen, when you talk to me, you're gonna understand. When you talk to me, you're gonna find out who I am. You're gonna find out my intellect and things like that. But you gotta talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna give you that. You gotta have a conversation. We're gonna have a conversation. So
that game ain't for free.
Sometimes you got to put that yourself out there too, like to even get in contact with these kind of people, because they're not gonna willingly offer their expertise.
That game ain't for free out here.
Yeah, exactly. So you might have to call for some loot. You might have to get out to these conferences. Like, you might really have to put yourself out there to really get in contact with people who are kind of, maybe they got all the game in the world, but they not handing out like.
No, that not free game.
Yeah,
free like that.
Rashad, Ernie Leach. I talked to you about Ernie Leach.
I watched. Yeah, I know.
They got people like Robert Smith, the richest black man in the world, pulling up. Like, he got no podcast.
He puts on game. Yeah, he's like the face, like not him, but like the face of it all. But he gives credit to his workers that work under him and who's on his team. Like, he don't discredit it. He's like, I'm the face. He did it on a Patreon exclusive on Joe Budden. Like, I read it.
Bro.
Yeah, he did. He's like, look, I'm the face, but make no mistake, there's a team that I put on behind me that always.
And I think every company has that for the most part. Yeah. And even sometimes the company is the face. Like Amazon, Jeff Bezos, but Amazon is the company. But it's just I see what you're saying.
I got producers, the writers, the all these that nobody see. They just see the face.
Yeah,
Beyonce, Drake's, etc. Jay-Z writes off, but you know the faces they see, but they don't see the under process of it all. The engineers,
and I love that point, bro. I fucking love that point. I fucking love that point. I will censor that out, guys. Fucking love that point.
Bruh.
But yeah, I respect it. But the unsung
and because look,
silent killers.
But look, the silent killers. But look, because I watched, I listened to a lot of ET, right?
Yeah,
helped me get a lot of stuff. Shout out to ET.
Shout out.
He talked in this last episode of Secret Success podcast. I listen to that all the time. Go listen to that. He talks about Carl. Carl is kind of like a grounds crew person, and 70-80% of people in the world are grounds crew. There's only those 20, 15, 10% that are like those out there people, famous. But the most of the time, it's the grounds crew people doing the behind the scenes work that don't get that credit. And I like that because even those people can still set themselves up for financial freedoms, can set themselves up for stuff like Brandi, to where she can have her time. You know, other stuff. All you gotta do is use that as a tool to do what you want. And if it's camera work, you can now become your own business and become your own camera work business. You can become your own writer because you write scripts and become your own script writing place. Like, you gotta use what you have. I feel like this conversation has been around entrepreneurship and just using the tools that you have and valuing yourself. And the reason why I like what you said too is because even though you're a grounds person and you got that 70-80% or whatever, guess what? Your tools are valuable. They can't, the 80-20 or the 20-10% can't even do what they fucking do without you.
No, they can't.
They can't even do.
No, they can't. But
they need you to do what they do.
But that's what humbles. I think that's what humbles those type of unspoken the silent killers, because they know, like, I got the keys, I got the gems. Like, I don't have to like rah to do it, because the 10 etc%, they know. They're coming back.
But, they know.
They're coming back to
the thing where the problem is that the 70-80%, the people the grounds crew people, they don't realize they value, so they sell themselves short. And they don't. They don't.
You gotta know.
They don't see the value that they have, and you know what I mean. So they sell themselves short, and XYZ.
You have to know your significance out in this world.
You gotta know your value.
You gotta know,
or else you're gonna get played.
You got to know it. Like,
that's relationships, everything.
If nobody else recognizes you, like recognizes what you do, your value, what you bring to this world, you gotta know that for yourself. And nobody else is gonna believe in you, my God. Like, nobody is. I come from a place where, like, I have to literally learn that. Like, nobody. You have to literally believe in yourself. You have to know your value, your talents, characteristics, things that you bring into this. Let you know that what you bring to the table, nobody else can. Nobody.
And if you bring in a hotel, we'll bring that motherfucker. Let's get one more question each and get this black business kick. Or not black business kick, black business shout out. I always say black business kick because I always think the G and everybody. But my last question.
I got one after that, but you know what it is.
I definitely like the networking question, Brandi. I definitely want to shout out Brandi. Brandi's giving so much game, you guys, not just on this podcast, but to me in general. Period. She don't think I'll be listening to her little rants, but I do.
She does this. That's what you saying.
She does this, y'all. She will go. She will go. Okay, my last question will probably be for the people out there listening. Can you tell the people about, because I also do car rentals. I'm talking about a vehicle, a method to get money now, guys. Actual application Can you describe the process in which you use car rentals to make you money and ultimately, provide that business? Can you talk about the car rental business, please?
Absolutely. So right now, the way I started the car rental business, like I said, I was in real estate. I was, flipping houses, wholesaling, buying houses. So I was becoming a landlord. And I found out about the renting cars on like Turo and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, people were saying and even now still it's people are saying, go to the car lot, get some debt, get an auto loan, whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
get a car, take it, put it on a platform and start making some money. Right now, I must have had some type of foresight. And it's not really a downfall. It's just, like I said, you take that L and you get over it, right? You just go through it, right? Mm-hmm. So I must have had some type of foresight to this situation because, now you're starting to see things are like slowing up and it's like the race to the bottom, basically, with these cars. So I thought about it. I'm like, I really didn't want to do that because it was just like at the time, my car that I was driving, even still to this day, is like I don't pay a car payment for my car. So I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I go out, get a car, get a payment, and put it on a platform so somebody else could drive it when I don't drive a car that has a payment, right? So that was my thing. I looked at it like that. So I hesitated to get in the business because I was already doing what I was doing. I was just like, I don't really need to do this, so I hesitated. It took me probably like a year before I actually started to do it. But then when I did start to do it, before I did it, instead of taking I seen what other people was doing, I reached out to people and things like that, and it just seemed like everybody was doing the same thing. They was doing it the same way. And again, I still was just like, I don't see it happening. Like I can't see that happening for me. So, and the fact that I was trying to get out of my 9 to 5. So everything I was doing at the time, I was intentional about planning my way out of my 9 to 5. So I'm like, if I go out and get a car note, that's going to keep me at this job a little bit longer, because what if this thing don't work out and I got a car note now, right? So I'm like, I'm not doing that, right? I knew that adamantly. I wasn't doing it. So what I did was, instead of just listening to what people were saying, this is where like the research and things come in at, and you doing your own due diligence. I actually went to these specific sites that the cars sit on, that you rent the cars out on, like the Turos, the Avails, the hire cars, things like that, right? I went to those specific sites and I read the criteria on those sites of what type of car needs to go on this site. Like what does my car need to look like or be, or the year, make, model, whatever, in order for it to be on this site? Because up until this point, everybody's putting brand new cars on these sites. You know what I mean? Up until the point where I saw, I'm like, everybody putting brand new cars on these sites. But I don't see myself doing that. So what do I need to do? So I went on their site, did the research, saw that it was like, yo, you don't need to have a car that's, a 2022 or 2023. You can have a car that's 10 years or newer, 15 years or newer. So I'm like, 15 years, like, that's a cash car. Like, I could buy a cash car. 15 years or newer, I could buy a cash car. 10 years or newer, I could put some cash on it. So I just started looking for cars. Like, once I found out the criteria, I started looking for cars. And I put my first car up. I purchased my first car. I found my first car on Facebook Marketplace. This car, I spent about, I think it was like $3,400 for the car. It was a great car, low miles, everything was good, things like that. When I talked to the man, he like, oh, this is my daughter's car. It was just like a commuter for school. We bought it for her, but now like she's out of school and she's not using it no more, but we just wanted off her insurance. So they were just trying to get rid of me, but they wanted more. But when I got there, I negotiated.
Amen.
Got it for about 34. When I got it, I believe he wanted like 46 or something like that. But like, I was like, I got cash on hand. Like, what you want to do? You know what I mean? So it became like, do you want to sell this to somebody that's here right now, or you want to keep playing this game and playing with tire kickers? People are like, yeah, I'll come see it and never show up. So he talked to his wife. She was like, get rid of it. She sold it. I had to clean it up because they had like a dog or something, so I had to get it detailed and things like that. But for the most part, it was like nothing major wrong with the car. Put it up on the platform, and I got my first renter. My first renter rented out for like a month. The first time I was like a month rental. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So it was a month rental. Then when it came back, I'm like, they kept it for a long time. So now I'm like, I'm tweaking my description. I'm tweaking different things, like trying to, whatever. And then the next rental, it was like a 7-day rental, I think it was. And this person rented for 7 days, but then they wound up like just keep extending it out. So it became like this person had my car for like 6 months. I'm like, bruh. So now I'm like, right. So now I'm like, now I'm trying to figure out like what are they keeping this car for, right? Because I'm thinking it's a leisure situation. Like, why are you keeping my car? So I started to talk to the customers, like, what I was taught at work. Talk to the customers, build rapport, see what they're here for. So, you know what I mean? So I started talking to the customer, and then I found out like they're actually working for like gig work, like DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, things like that. So I'm like, okay, so these are the people I need to tap in with, like not the people that's coming in for the weekend. And also what I say is like, I don't live in a city where like there's things going on, like happenings. Like, when you go to California, you can fly into LAX and it could be anything going on. You can fly into Atlanta and it could be anything going on, right?
True.
I don't live in a city like that. I live in like a small town. People ain't really doing too much. You know what I mean? You go to Philly and do something, or New York and do something, but you ain't gonna do nothing where I'm at. So I'm like, okay, I gotta cater to what's going on where I'm at. Absolutely. I gotta cater to where, and I live in the capital. I live in Trenton. So like, but there's nothing going on there, right? So I'm like, I got to cater to what's going on here with my cars. I can't look at what somebody doing on the internet and they're living somewhere else where there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, Arizona, Los Angeles, Atlanta. It's stuff going on. There's always a conference. There's always a golf club situation of the weekend. There's always something going on. So people are renting cars, right? But if it's not happening like that where I'm at, how do I serve these people and still get what I need, right? So I looked into, just the gig workers. So I started to just kind of like hone in on them. Like, if they are gig workers and they're out here, they're making money, how do I hone in on them and have my cars in their hands rather than somebody else's hands that's just coming for the weekend? So I started to do little stuff with my cars, like put different things in my cars, like car chargers, the phone holders, Bluetooth, because the older cars don't have Bluetooth, so you get one of the little plugs and plug into the lighter, and it becomes like a Bluetooth to the phone. So I would connect that before they get the car, and then in my messaging I would let them know, like, hey, this car does have Bluetooth. Just hit program number 6, and it'll connect right to your phone. You'll have Bluetooth, whatever, like things they like get for them. And then I'm thinking about the car chargers. I'm like, if they at work working a gig, somebody in their car, they driving, somebody in their car, and they get off a flight, because I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, if I get off a flight and my phone dying, if I get in that Uber, if I ask you for a charger and you like, oh, I ain't got none, I'm not giving you no tip. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, it is what it is. But I need I need something extra, right? So now if I'm doing that, if I'm saying that to myself, I'm like, okay, how could I get them more money? So now that they can continue to pay me more money, right?
Real flight going on. I'm
looking at everything. So I'm doing everything. I'm comping them. I'm making sure that they have everything that they need to be able to, run their business correctly, so that I can get paid, right? So the money is coming in hand over fist. So if you think, like, if my car was rented out for a month first and then it's rented out for 6 months, that car's paid off. It's paid off from the person that was driving it. Now anything after that is like pure profit. Right? Pure profit. Nothing else. So it's just like, you don't need to go, like, this is what they say, like, when people trying to like follow the masses, like, no, go this way. Like, see what's going on. So I tell people, like, yo, you don't have to go into a situation. Like, I know everybody talk about car rentals. I know everybody talk about Airbnb. I know everybody talk about like these things, but it's like, what is it that you bring to it that is different from everybody? What is your sauce? What is it? So for me, it's cash cars. It's cash cars. It's buying cash cars and getting cash flow from those cash cars. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Because guess what? I'm solving a problem. You have a problem. You either can't buy a car with cash, or you can't finance a car because maybe your credit is bad. But you need money and you need to get money fast. So guess what? I put a car up for $50, $60 a day. You rent my car and you just pay me. We both making money. We both getting. Yeah, I'm helping your family. You helping mine.
Preach up.
Fair exchange, no robbery.
Message.
Solutions. Can we get an explosion? Yeah, I was just about to say, can we get an explosion for that? That was hard.
Got that.
I would like to say, man, I hope you guys are listening. Because these are some big gems right now. I would like to say that pointing out, like, people think that entrepreneurship, okay, is gonna alleviate every one of your bills and you'd be okay. Sometimes you only need to alleviate 2 or 3. Right. So if that car that you're renting is taking away your cell phone bill or your car payment, if you did finance it, hopefully you do, like Brandi said, buy cash. Now everything after that is profit. Right. But if you don't, guess what? Now your car payment gets supplemented a little bit, if depending on how much it's rented out. It could be the electric bill. Yep. You know, $400, $500 extra a month for any income household is you're gonna be taking care of some stuff. So that leaves you room to invest in stuff like what we was talking about earlier, like real estate, in stocks. You know what I mean? So you gotta, yes, it's it kind of like hustle mentality, but having vehicles to get the income you need is so key, man.
Having vehicles, period, to get where you need to go.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, but I've been in and out of cars forever.
Yeah. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about money-making vehicles. Ways to make you money. That's what I mean by vehicles. But yes, and that too. Because dual purpose, yes, you are making income on your cash rentals, but now, guess what? I'm driving around in the road. I'm driving around a Nissan. I'm driving around whatever I want to drive that I want to buy this. So you can literally drive your dream car and rent it out. Technically, right, Brandi? You of course you want to do proper business.
Absolutely.
You want to do proper business.
You absolutely can do that. You can do that.
You want to make your money, but at the same time, you can, tailor it how you want to. So that's why I like the car rental business. I was like, Brandi got to come on because she talks about cash rentals, because a lot of people can't do like she said and go to the dealership. I got $650 credit. I got this amount of money. Let me put it up. But guess what? I can't go on Craigslist. I can't go driving through the streets. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Guess what? Those cars can make you money.
Facts.
Because it's not the 10%, it's the 80%. The 70% we guarantee. So it's a win-win. Like I got my Rover first, but after I talk with Brandi, I'm already looking into stuff that I can do at the cash, and I can just pay my money and be done. Now everything's profit. But I do want to get a Splinter though. So if I can get that Splinter cash, woo.
Never talk to Brandi about that, my dean.
Give me the Splinter.
Man, listen.
Give me the Splinter.
But this what I say. Listen, this what you need. You need one of 3 things in business. Any business, one of 3. If you got 2, you even better. But one of 3. So the one thing that you would need is time, right? You need the time to do that thing. Whatever that business is, you need the time to do it, right? 2 is the money. You're going to need the money to put into that business and be able to move it forward, right? And then 3 will be the knowledge, right? So you need one of 3 things. So guess what? If you I tell people, I say cash cars, but it's like, it don't always got to be your cash. It don't always got to be your car. The thing is like, we get so hell bent and so high up on this credit, funding. And it's like, we forget how to be creative. Right. So I say, you don't need credit. You need creativity. You don't need credit. You need creativity. If you can be creative, you can do anything. Right. So my thing is like, if I have, like right now, I'm doing a mentorship, a 4-week mentorship where, I'm teaching people, every week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, how to get into this business the way I did. Right. I'm teaching a mentorship. So I'm telling my mentees this, and I'm telling them that I'm like I said in the beginning, I'm disarming you from yourself. So me disarming you from yourself, when I say get a cash car and get you some money, I'm not saying it has to be your cash. It has to be your car. I'm saying go out there and be intentional about your business. Tell everybody what you do. It might be a friend that you talking to and you say, y'all just sparked up a conversation talking about hey, I'm in this group and we learning about getting in the rental cars and getting, $8 to $1,500 every month and this and the third. And the person like, what? How that work? Now you got their ear. Okay, this is how it works. You have the knowledge. And guess what? You might even have the time to do the thing. But that person just got money and they like, or they might just got the car. So it's just like, they might want to partner up with you. You know what I mean? Like, and now you didn't have to put in none of your money, none of your cash. You just had the knowledge around the thing and you had the time to do the thing. So you became basically a manager of the cars. But I'm splitting profit and I ain't have to bring nothing to the table but what I know in a little bit of time to run these things. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, don't always
use your brain. Use your brain.
You don't always have to be the one to I gotta have everything. Before I start anything, I gotta have it all together. No. Just go out and start making moves. You start making moves, whatever you need will come to you.
That's like
whatever you need will come to you. When I was in real estate, I had deals where it was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make this work. And guess what? Because I was just working and being active, the people were showing up and was like, yo, yeah, you could do that. I'll fix that for you, or I'll do this for you, or I can do that for you. It's like, dang, I thought it wasn't gonna work. No, you just gotta keep going. You have to keep going. Because when you stop, people look at you like, oh, you wasn't gonna do nothing anyway. You wasn't trying to do this anyway. They was waiting for you to keep going, but you stopped. So now that you stop, it's like, I ain't gonna help him now. I had the information, but I ain't gonna help him because he stopped. He quits. He's a quitter.
There's a lot of gems in this episode right now.
You know what I mean? He's a quitter. So you have to go through, like I said, that L. When you keep going through, you're gonna get to the other side. It's gonna be the W. It's gonna be right there. You're like, dang, like it happened for me. You know what I mean? But it only happened because you kept going. You didn't stop, and you showed people like I got perseverance, I got resilience, and I'm gonna keep going. And I don't care what you say or how you feel. I'm gonna keep doing it. You feel me? I don't care. I'm gonna keep doing it. So that's where it's at. So again, you don't have to have everything all together. Get the information, get the knowledge, find out how this thing works, because you might not know. You might just be thinking like just regurgitating what somebody else saying, or oh no, because this person said it, this and that. Yo, I still make money. I still make money on rental cars, even though the rental car situation, like a lot of people make it seem like it's so like, oh, I'm still getting all this money. Like a lot of people are doing real bad out here with these cars. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like when all the auto loans and all that stuff started happening, it was a lot of the Turo stuff, right? Where people was buying 10, 20. I tell my students, if you're thinking about, if you want to get 5 to 10 cars at one time, this ain't the mentorship for you. I'm not the person to teach you. Even though I had amassed up to that many cars, right? I want to start you out with one, right? Because this industry is very new. It's very new to all of us. We've never done this before. Why would you go into an industry and take on and be super debt heavy in this industry when I don't know nothing about it? I'm learning and I'm gonna make mistakes. So I'd rather make mistakes on a cash, one car. I'd rather make mistakes on one car that's cash that I'd be like, you know what? I don't like it. I'm going to get out and I'm out of here. But if you got a $40,000 vehicle, well, 5 $40,000 vehicles, and guess what? It's a race to the bottom because everybody got the same vehicle you got and they're willing to charge $50, but you need to charge $100 in order to pay your car note and your car insurance.
Car note,
That's we racing to the bottom because now it's like nobody's renting my car. They renting that $50 car. It's the same car.
Message.
You know what I mean? And during the pandemic, I was telling people, I said, yo, it's gonna go to a point. It's gonna get to a point where y'all got like when they was having the Teslas and stuff, like all the Teslas running up or whatever. At one point in time, the only way that you could drive a Tesla or even see a Tesla is if you bought it or if you went on Turo and rented it, right? That's the only way you or you know somebody that had one that was willing to let you drive it, right? Only way you was willing to get it. So people was running up the bag with them Teslas. It was people had $300 a day, $250 a day, and people was renting them, right? But we had the economy was pumped up with all this money, with all this stimulus, with all this PPP, with all this EDILs and all that. So people was just throwing money out there because they didn't have to work for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, here it is a year or two later, these same Teslas, people getting $74 a day for them, $80 a day for them. You know what I mean? And at that time when this was happening, I was like, yo, get y'all money, do what y'all doing.
Yeah, they going hundreds.
I'm like, get y'all money, do what y'all doing. But don't forget this is a business. So because it's a business, you got to figure out, okay, if this thing starts to slow up, how can I keep continuing to have my car running? Right. So I was telling people, like, yo, you can link up with like Airbnb hosts and say, hey, I got a Tesla. I can wrap it a certain color. And now you give a person an experience. You have to give a person an experience now with this car. It's not just because everybody got a Tesla now. You think about like Hertz did the thing where they had to talk about going bankrupt. They went bankrupt, but then they came back and bought all these Teslas. Now they got them in every airport. Yeah. So it's like your Tesla ain't nothing because they charging $80 for a Tesla. You gonna have to go cheap on yours because they got hundreds of them in the airport, right? Now you got loving this. You get what I'm saying? So now you got that, but then it's like you got the Teslas in airports, so everybody got them. But then now I just seen like probably like last month or so like that. Somebody said it was like, dang, I'm seeing so many Teslas out here in Philly, this, that, and third. Somebody just like said it, and somebody else was like, oh, they probably riding for Uber. It's like, what? And come to find out, Uber just did a thing, like a connection with Tesla, collaboration, with Tesla, that the Uber drivers, they could get an EV car and make more money, right? With the EV car. Yeah, so they kind of did a collaboration, right? So now you could go on Uber and rent a Tesla and drive people around. So like,
and probably get a lower deal. Yeah, probably get a lower deal.
Absolutely.
So collab.
Right.
Absolutely, you're gonna get a lower deal. So guess what? Who would they rather get the car from, you or Uber? You charging me $300, $250.
Now you X'd out. Right. Now you X'd out.
You know, now you gotta figure something else out. So for me, I decided to do cash cars, and I decided to do economy everyday cars that you see all the time, every day. People need them. It ain't the flashy. Don't nobody drive a Lamborghini every day. Don't nobody drive a Range Rover every day. Don't nobody drive, these high-end cars every day. They look nice. They're very nice. But the everyday person don't drive these cars. The everyday person ain't looking like, oh, we going out of here. Even when you go out of town. I catch Uber when I go out of town. I don't be renting cars when I go out of town. When I go out of town, or when people go out of town.
I did. When I went to Atlanta, I did Lyft. Time.
Exactly. Ain't nobody.
You know what I mean? You go Uber or Lyft. Because it's like I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive.
Let's go.
It's very convenient for me to get somebody to have somebody else drive me where I need to go and get there and drop me off. It's very convenient. The other thing is like when people do come into town and they have other family members and things like that with them. It's like a situation of, yo, we gonna get a minivan. Like you said, we're going to get a Sprinter. We're going to get something bigger. We're going to do something bigger. So it's not... Like one of my mentees she just got a car. She got a minivan, and the minivan she got 3 or 4 rentals within the month of 8 days of her listing the car. 8 days from her listing the car, she got her first rental in 8 days. She got 4 rentals within the same month. Her first rental was $600 on a minivan. So I'm like, what could $600 do for you? She was able to quit her part-time job because she like, I see what's going on here. You know what I mean? I'm just going because she got kids. She got other stuff she want to do. So I tell people, I'm like, yo, you don't need a part-time job. You need a cash car. Just get a cash car. Like, because now you're not trading time for money. You know what I'm saying? You go to get that part-time job. You trading your time for money. You get a cash car. You still got your time. You still getting that money. You know what I mean?
The time for money is a whole other time.
No.
You can't even go into it.
But that's what I was going to get to real quick. How I want to get to this is 2 quick questions, so we're trying to end it. I know Brandi has a lot of stuff she's trying to do. It's time management is a real thing for entrepreneurs, guys. Please be aware. But I wanted to see like how, like, because when I did my car rentals, I didn't do a cash rental. I didn't know about Brandi's course at the time, guys. So next time I probably will do a cash rental. Even though I want to do a Sprinter, I want to do a cash. But my question was, like, for the people, what was the question? It was like, for the people who want to do like rentals and everything, like, dang, what was that question? Dang, I had a question for you, Brandi. I can't remember what it was. Dang, I can't remember what it was. You got one for him?
I got one. Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, because I can't remember mine.
But this is totally off of that. Like that's like it's totally off that. Like what I'm getting into. But if you got it, mine is totally off that.
Dang, it was something about the business. It's okay. I will. You guys got to tune into the Patreon. Tune into the Patreon because if it come back to me, I'm gonna answer it off question.
Hey, look, if you back on, you will hear about it. Like,
but tune into the Patreon.
More, Brandi. Like you've been talking, and I'm curious to go off the grid a little bit. You said you're in a relationship, and I am wondering for sure about your relationship. Things about your relationship. I'm wondering about your views on relationships as a woman, because as a woman, I'm highly like curious. As men on this podcast, I'm very curious about the gender. What I call it,
we've been on X spree.
Yeah, I call it gender versus on relationship. Like, so like
but it's really about gender collaboration.
Women's point of view about certain relationships.
Should we do some quick fires?
I don't know. Well, let's try it. Let's see. What makes you feel sexy?
Say that again. I can't hear him. Sorry.
I said, what makes you feel sexy?
What makes me feel sexy?
Yep. Yep.
That's a funny question.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna hit you.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna hit you with it. I'm gonna hit you with it.
We switching it up.
Yeah, I told you it's not nothing to do with it. I told you already.
I don't know. I never thought about that.
Well, think about it.
That's a good one.
It's a good question. That is a good question.
I always come with the good questions. I know
what makes me feel sexy.
I asked you.
What makes you feel sexy?
No, ask him.
When I get dressed up.
What makes you feel sexy? I don't give a fuck what makes him feel sexy.
I'm not sure. I guess like when I'm feeling myself, like you said, like it could be like, when you dressing up and that person that you with is like, complimenting you, telling you that you look good, and you smell good, and like they all be like those things. Amen. Those things they definitely make you feel good.
For sure. Do you believe in love at first sight?
First sight?
Yeah, love at first sight. Do you believe in that?
No, I've never had it, so I would say no.
Okay. What's your favorite flower?
Favorite who?
Flower.
I don't really like flowers, so I don't.
What? Whoa!
I'm not a flower person.
So if your man brings you flowers, how do you react?
Yes.
He probably wouldn't.
What?
Because I'm like, this the thing. Like everybody don't like just because you're a girl don't mean you like the girl stuff. Like don't just think like you have to know your person, right? Don't bring me no flowers if you know I'm not a flower person, right? So know me.
That's big fact.
Right? Facts. So he probably wouldn't bring me that because he knows like that's not what I'm about. Like that's not what better. Right? So it's just like he wouldn't. Because it's like you got some people that go to flower shows. Like they're into flowers. Like if I know that my person is into flowers like that, like I'm bringing flowers like every day, right? But everybody ain't a flower person, so that's where you get to know a person, right? You get to know who they are, and genuinely get to know them. Like that's why I said, even when you're dating, you have to be intentional. Are you intentional? What do you want from me? What do I want from you? We ain't just playing games. I'm trying to really figure you out.
I ain't even gonna lie. It's some real shit though. You definitely gotta be intentional with that. Dating, all that, business, everything. There's one more.
Yeah, I got them all. Go ahead. Do you believe in PDA?
Believe in who?
PDA, public display of affection.
Do I believe in it? I believe there is something.
Do you like it? Do you believe in holding hands? Maybe it's not public. Maybe him dabbing your booty in public. You know what I'm saying? Do you believe in it, Steve?
I love you. I'm not really a big PDA person. Like I could do it, but it's not something that I'm into like that.
No PDA, guys. Sorry, guys.
Okay. See, I got him.
And then we gotta ask the main question that we always ask.
Yeah. All right. So the final question.
You can ask it one more.
No. It's fine. But I just wanted to dive in to throw it off.
Yeah.
It's been a little light. I want to bring it over.
And you know what? We got a lot of men listeners.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know if Brandi's single or not, guys.
She is single because she said she literally, with her boyfriend, she's in the truck. Literally, boyfriend out on the road with him in his...
in truck? Okay, I didn't know. I came in late.
Listen, guys, she's taken, so you can't have her.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
All the gyms she's giving you
guys.
can't have her.
I never known this. You
gotta look for your own woman like her, but you can't. She can't ever be like her. I'm sorry, she's taken.
We talk a lot on the mastermind, guys. We didn't hardly talk about relationship.
We didn't talk about relationship.
Listen, she's taken. I'm gonna tell you right now, she's taken.
Sorry, guys. It's okay. I give you.
She gets on the road with her man, the truck driver. Okay, literally.
Hey, is that not a gym or not?
I mean,
working with your significant other to make money.
I don't know. Does she work with him? I don't know. She just probably supports him.
That's another one we got to talk about.
But that's a whole another different sake for a different time. But I want to ask you, Brandi, is the last question of the day. Is we always ask these questions to our guests. If you can go back, even to 5, 6, 7-year-old you, raised by your mother,
10,
and all that, what was one piece of advice right now? If you can go back to where you are now, you can go back and give younger you right now.
I would say don't fear the unknown. Like, just because you don't know what it is, don't fear it. If you want to do it, go do it. Right? Because a lot of times, like even now as grown-ups, we're still fearful. We're still fearful of leaving where we grew up at and moving somewhere else and doing things like that. We're fearful of starting a business. We're fearful of even working with each other. We're fearful of a lot of things, but it's like we have to break out of that like fear factor. So that would be one thing that I would say, like just go out, just do it. Don't be fearful.
Yeah, got you. That's really resonated with the fear of being what you want to be and what you want. Oh, excuse me, what you want to do. That's very resonating, and because we get into this, I feel like that goes with growing up and people instilling things in you though. That fear, like it's either it's going to be that fear or that confidence. To me, what I feel like is what determines your a part of your motivation of being who you want to be in this world. But like there is a lot of, as a kid, you're going to be insecure in this world. You're going to be like unsure. And when you step out of that purity thing, because little kids, they don't know nothing but love, and all that. It's beautiful. But when they get older, they start to look around and be like, oh shit. You know, they
that's when they start looking for
realizing about world. And then like if you don't instill either that confidence, though that fear.
Yeah. Whatever which one you gonna instill in your kid.
Which way you're gonna
that's
turn.
Real.
So like I love that. Like I love that you would go back and instill that with that, because that's a prominent point that I feel like the little boy in me, if I knew that, I would be if I did that, like, oh my God, like I imagine the artistry I would be, the basketball player I would be probably. Like I would take over the world.
I literally think, bro, like the only thing you need in life is confidence.
Yeah, I would take over
You'll find the rest. You'll find the education, you'll find the mentors, whatever you need. But if you have confidence, you'll find it.
Yeah, I'll take over the world.
But
so we're gonna get into this segment that we get into all the time.
Great answer, Brandon.
Yeah. We name it our Black Business segment. It doesn't have to be a black business.
Brandon know a lot of black business.
You know what I'm saying?
She might end up shouting out.
If you want to shout out yours or shout out anybody else's,
we already gonna shout yours out, Brandon.
Yeah, this is our platform to give to things or people or businesses out there that we want to give a shout out to network purposes, just to bring it to a better space. So
we trying to get the people out there, baby.
That's what it is.
Yo.
Brandi, as our guest, we're going to let you go first. If you have any business of yours, anybody else you'd like to shout out to bring light of, this is your floor doing it.
So I would most definitely, because we've been talking about it a lot this episode, is my brother, my older brother, Unspoken Hustlers. That's his business. He's a personal trainer.
Promise.
Yeah. That's who he is on Instagram as well. So you can find him Unspoken. It's Unspoken Unlimited on Instagram. He's a personal trainer.
Unspoken Unlimited. Gotcha.
Yeah. He's a personal trainer. And he's just very motivational. He's very, his work ethic is just like unmatched. Like, you know, his consistency, everything about him is just like, he gets up every day at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. He goes to bed, right. And like, you know, he goes to bed very late, but it's just like, he has that grind in him that like, he's the person in my life at this point that I look at and I'm like, yo, you got it. Like, if I was ever like lacking or slacking about anything, all I had to do is like get up and look at him and be like, man, you just gotta go ahead. Because he's gonna do it, right? Yeah. He's gonna do it no matter what, whether he got it or not, right? So definitely my brother, his name is Brandi Hayes, and it's Unspoken Unlimited on Instagram. But he got merch.
Hey, Mom.
Hey.
My mom's back, y'all. She's back from the Encounter conference. I think that's what's gonna be my
after the pod, okay?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be my black business today. Mom, you want to talk about the conference real quick? My mom just came back from the Encounter conference. It's a conference put on by my auntie, who's a pastor, Pastor Tamala Kelly, and my uncle, Pastor William Kelly. And my mom just came back in the house. Front, she looking good. What's up, Mom? You looking good? Go ahead, Mom. Yeah. And my niece is in the building. But niece. Mom, do you want to talk about the conference real quick?
They have it every year.
Okay, can you tell them about it real quick?
Well, it's a conference that you have to come to experience. But if you need a refreshing, you need some changes in your life, whether it be professionally, personally, that's the conference to go to.
And it's
once a year in Palm Springs. It's
and it's
3-day, 2-night Encounter conference.
Okay, and it's about worshiping and praising God.
Yeah, God get all the glory.
Amen. All right, love it. That's my back business shout out. Shout out to my auntie.
What me to say it, amen.
Shout out to my mama.
Amen.
And my niece. She funny too.
I follow what niece said. Amen.
My niece gonna say amen. All right, go ahead.
But once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th pod straight, I ain't got no black business for y'all.
Oh my god.
Guess what? Y'all gonna have to follow whatever they say. Shout
out to Tyler's business, y'all. Tanksley Design. Make sure you guys, if you need some graphics, whatever, it's cover art, logos. Tyler can do that for y'all. Business cards. Tyler can do it.
Books.
Animations coming.
I will say this.
Do it.
I am working on a couple of books right now. I am working on a few children's books right now that will be sold, published, and out there for all of them to see.
Keep on the lookout, guys.
So keep on the lookout. Thank you for that, AJ.
No problem, brother.
But yeah, that's just what it is. That is a black business segment of it all.
All right, nice. This has been a great podcast.
This has been a great podcast.
I think Tyrone and Brandi has probably dropped the most jewels.
I want to say thank you, Brandi, for coming on. Thank you for dropping these jewels. Like I said before, I am humbly grateful for a guest because I love to learn. Yeah. I love for the jewels to be dropped on me to help me through my everyday life.
It helps me too.
Best days of my life is when I'm doing a pod and I have the guests on. Right. And they give me jewels and inspiration and confidence to go on and do my own personal things to my grind.
Yeah, so, I feel that because it helps us and it helps our audience. You know what I mean? And I know Brandi was going to come with the heat because she does it all the time.
Right.
But
what I want to give out, shout out Patreon. I don't know if y'all see it, but you see my shirt out here. This is what it is. My shirt out here. I'm wearing it. It's the Grind Podcast.
I don't have mine on.
But it's the Grind Podcast out here. Shout out to Patreon. You will get your own shirt if you sign up.
The Grind Show.
It is called Patreon/TGP
1914.
1914.
Mm-hmm.
Our Instagram is the Grind Podcast 1.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my own personal Instagram is Tanksley Designs. It is not a personal page. It's Instagram. It's a business page.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, shout out to me for any artwork.
Yep.
For my personal
Twitter, tap in.
Is Tank of America.
Yep.
AJ's is whatever.
Mine's is at St. Jones 33 on all platforms. If you use TikTok, go ahead and add me on TikTok. I like to dance. If you use Instagram, at St. Jones 33, same thing. You know, I post some pictures. You will see clips of the Grind Show. You will see clips of Brandi. If you like Twitter and you like to use Threads, same thing at St. Jones 33. Far as Brandi,
do you have any people you want to
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
You have anything people want to follow you at, businesses.
She does sell courses, guys. Please, Brandi, let them know where they can find your courses. If you really are interested in turning your cars into cash flow, buying cars, turning them into cash flow, she can make you money. On God.
Yeah. So my Instagram is Network with Brandi. That's with an I. And that's on all socials. Actually, Twitter is Brandi Networks because I couldn't get the whole thing in there on Twitter. I do have courses on the car rental business. Also, right now, like I said, I'm doing a 4-week mentorship. It's a group coaching. It's on me. I get on the call with you once a week in a group setting, and I go over everything step by step. We get Q&A. You know, we got homework. We going through this thing, and you also get a digital workbook. So as we're going through the process, you have a workbook that you can work through as we're going through the process. So while I'm talking, you can see the slides, and you also see a workbook form. So you can, editable, you can write in it, whatever you like to do. But I just figured it would be good to make it very interactive. Because again, I want people to get into this business. So right now, if you want to get in, you can DM me, my Instagram. Let me know you saw me on the Grind Show, and I got you.
Let them know.
That's it.
I'm mad, bro. I'm mad. Brandi, I'm mad. I'm about to get mad. I'm about to get mad, Brandi. I'm about to get mad, bro.
Don't be mad. Be appreciative of the grind.
Bro, we giving them heat.
Don't be mad.
Y'all got Brandi on this motherfucker.
Listen.
Okay.
Don't be mad at all.
Okay.
Just be appreciative. We give her a platform for the grind of it all.
Okay.
This has been the Grind Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 36.
Yeah. Shout out to Brandi. Shout out to Time Capital. Hey. Yeah. Let's go.